review of psychology of money. Yes. And today we're going to be reviewing chapter 6 of this book that teaches us a lot about money, how we behave with money, how much money we're able to make, and more importantly, how much money we're able to keep. Right. If you remember yesterday's review, we talked about getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Very important. All right. Today we're looking at chapter 6, which is titled Tails You Win. You can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune. There is a quote here by Brad Pitt. He once said that I've been banging away at this thing for 30 years. I think the simple maths is some projects work and some don't. There is no reason to belabor either one. Just get on to the next. We're going to be looking at how some tail events can turn out to be, a great fortune for you. How some tail events, little actions, the insignificant things that you think that you do, how they can bring you great success in life. If you think of the tail, what does it mean to you? To anybody, nobody wants to be the tail. Even the Bible says, oh, I'll be the head, I'll never be the tail. So when we talk of tail, it is not perceived in good light. Nobody wants to be the tail. If you tell anybody, tail, you'll be tail, nobody wants to be associated with it. People will be like, oh, I reject it, right? But in this event, it is being, used in another way that is so important in life. There is a story here of a man named Heinz Berggren, and he fled Nazi Germany in 1936. He settled in America, he studied literature, and when he was a youth, nobody would have ever thought that this guy would be so successful in his life. In fact, by the 1990s, he was by any measure one of the most successful art dealers of all time. But when he was growing up, nobody ever thought that he was going to be this successful. But what happened? It happened that in the year 2000, he sold part of his massive collection of artworks that he had been gathering over time. He sold this piece to the German government at 100 million euros. In fact, it was considered that that money was just like a giveaway, more like he just dashed it to them, like it was just a donation, because that piece of art was evaluated to be worth over $1 billion. But he sold it at 100 million euro. No, not 100. Yes, 100 million euros, which was still a lot of money. And this made him rich. So it's defied logic to think that this man had been gathering so many artworks over the years. He had probably sold like 99% of his artworks, but those ones did not bring him much success. But the 1%, the artwork of Picasso, 1% of it that is sold brought him this huge amount of money. Some may call it luck, some may call it skill, some may call it, calculation. It was calculated and everything. And this is where we're going to get to. Like in the world of investing, in the world of money, there are so many things that you're going to do, so many investments that you're going to make that may not work out for you. You may lose your money. Just like somebody called me this morning and was really lamenting that he ventured into some investments not too long ago and he lost millions of naira. He tried cryptocurrency. Which other one did he try? Forex, and he lost a lot of money to the point that he was so depressed he couldn't even tell his wife because he felt that the news would really break her. So he just had to swallow it as a man. It pained him so much, right? But somebody like that, you may tell him, oh, try and invest again. He may be too scared to invest. But in actual sense, that is life. There are some things that you win. There are some things that you lose. And the author is saying here, he says that can be hard to deal with. Even if you understand the math, it is not intuitive. It doesn't come to you naturally to think that an investor can be wrong half the time and still make a fortune. It means that we underestimate how normal it is for a lot of things to fail. And when things fail, we beat ourselves up, we overreact, we shatter, we are shattered, we are depressed, we don't even want to try again. Like this man that I just said, he may not want to invest again, right? But I think he said he would give it another try. I think so. But normally, many people may not want to invest again. Like they would rather be spending their money, keep it to themselves. But that is life. Tell me how you can truly live a fulfilling life if you don't fail, you don't make mistakes, no error, everything is just going smoothly, no challenges, no obstacles. To me, that's not truly living. That's not even the way that God designed life to be. So anytime you fail, don't beat yourself up. We should start taking failure as a normal thing. If you have not read the book titled Failing Forward, go and read it. You will never see failure as your enemy again. There are so many examples in this book to show us that even the big companies, the big corporations, the big people, rich men and women, like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Dangote, Femi Otedola, so many of them, Olaide Agbaje, and so on. It is not as if they haven't failed before. We see their wealth. We see that they have a lot of money. We only see the results. We don't know what goes on behind the scene. There is this saying that the rich also cry. Yes, we are praising them. We are quick to check their net worth. Oh, Warren Buffett is worth $147 billion. Dangote is worth so amount of, $1 million and all of that. And we get so excited. But have we ever realized, I'm going to jump somewhere to the end now about Warren Buffett so that I don't lose this point that I'm saying right now. He once said, hey, I like that. Fatima Balogun. Yes, you had better put your name because you are wealthy. We cannot be calling all the wealthy people in the world, but it is there. It is there. Warren Buffett once said somewhere, he said that in his lifetime, he has owned them. Just 10 others. They didn't do so well, right? And this is where this chapter is taking us. That there are some tail events that will happen in your life. Some things that are so describe the tail. And you don't hit it well. In the process of killing it, you cut off the tail. Does that lizard or wild gecko die? No, it doesn't die. That means it can survive without the tail. And that is to say that its tail is something insignificant. It is not necessarily considered to be attached to life. The lizard can go around tailless, right? But these tail events are very important. They are the little things that we do every now and then that bring about big results. But you will never get the big results if you despise those little things in your life, like praying for 10 minutes every day, as opposed to waiting every Sunday to go and pray for 5 hours in church, or fasting once in a week instead of waiting for the general fasting period and you go 21 days at a stretch. I really cannot wait for us to read Atomic Habits that also buttresses how little habits, the tiny little habits that we do, compound into big results in our lives. There's a story here about Walt Disney and how Disney's first studio went bankrupt. All the films that they produced did not do well. They flopped until they produced Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And this movie changed everything. So I was thinking, what if when they were experiencing failure, when they went bankrupt, they gave up? They did not continue to produce movies. And they did not get to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs being produced. They wouldn't have made the $8 million that this movie brought them in the first 6 months. And this money that this movie brought them paid off all the debts that they were owing. That is why you should not give up. There are so many stories here. There is also a story about Amazon, how Amazon produced the Fire phone and it flopped, it failed. and how a tiny part of the company known as Amazon is bringing a lot of money to the company. But so many people don't know this. Is it not their web services, and is it Amazon Prime and web? But I know web services is there. If I see it, I'm gonna, read it out to you. Right. So some tiny things that you do would be the ones to bring your breakthrough. And that is why you should be consistent at it. And when you fail at something, don't call it quits. Don't say, oh, I'm never trying again. You just never know which one will bring about your big break. As a content creator, I can perfectly relate to this, right? Sometimes you are overthinking it. You are thinking, I have this fantastic idea. By the time I make it into a video, it's going to go viral. People are going to like it. Well, sometimes it works like that. You have this idea that, oh, everybody is searching for this topic. You have gone on TikTok, you have searched creator sites, searching sites, you have checked Google Trends, you have, checked askthepublic.com, and you're looking for the topics that people are searching for, and you think it's going to be a hit. And then you make the video, you script it, you make it, you edit it, you post it, and it doesn't do well. It's a total flop, right? And you start feeling bad, like all the effort you put into this. And there are times that you don't even think so much about the video. Like the video I made on Monday, prayer for school resumption. That video was just like 1 minute long. And I didn't have to think too hard about it. I mean, I pray on the norms. I pray for my children normally. So it just came naturally. I didn't have to script anything. I didn't have to do it. Just 1 minute long. And the last time I checked, it was approaching like 650,000 views. That video has the highest number of likes since I've been creating content. Probably now it's going to like 50,000 likes. I've never had such an amount of likes before. It has the highest amount of comments. It doesn't have the highest views because I have a video that is like 1.2 million. But even that video does not have so many comments or likes as this one. And it is kind of surprising because it's not the first of its kind that I'm making prayer for children, prayer for school resumption, and everything. But none of its kind has ever done well like this. And to think that I was really skeptical about making the video, I had so many ideas in my head. In fact, there was the one I made yesterday, the following day, was the one I was keen on making on Monday. Before I remember that, school resumes today. Okay. I used to pray for children, school resumption, and all of that. Let me make it. But in my mind, I was fighting it. Should I make this one? Should I not make this one? Right. And I eventually made it. I'm glad I made it. Right. That is what I am saying. Don't overthink anything. You just never know which one will bring your big break. And whatever you think that you should be doing in life, if you fail at it, it's okay. I like the response of, is it Amazon CEO here? Yes. Jeff Bezos. He said when the company's products, one of the products, Fire Phone, failed, he said, if you think that's a big failure, we are working on much bigger failures right now. I am not kidding. Some of them are going to make the Fire Phone look like a tiny little blip. That's the attitude you should have. If you fail at something, just know that everything is not going to work in your favor. But don't despise the little things that you do. And don't despise anything. And this has a lot to do with investment. If you are investing 10,000 naira every month, you are saving it, you are putting it to good use. You are better than somebody who is waiting to invest 1 million naira in a year. These are the little things that we are talking about. I hope I've not left any important points here. Okay, we're going to be ending very soon. There's also an example here about Chris Rock. The author says that the Chris Rock that he sees on TV, he's hilariously flawless. But when he performs in small clubs, it's not that funny. But then he has to perform in those small clubs because that's what he will use to test run his jokes to see whether they are going to be funny to a larger audience, right? So don't despise the little things you do. Don't despise the days of little beginning. Don't try to start your journey from the top. Start from the bottom. Do the tail events. They are the ones that will materialize into big breaks for you. I think we've come to the end of this, but before I go, I'm just going to read paraphrase something here. When we pay special attention to a role model's successes, we overlook that their gains came from a small percent of their actions. That makes our own failures, losses, and setbacks feel like we are doing something wrong. We think that the Dangotes, the Warren Buffetts, the Oprah Winfrey's of this world, they don't make mistakes, they don't cry. They also cry, they also lose money, they also get into bad deals. But because we see their riches and their glamour and everything, we feel that, oh, because we are not yet successful, we must be doing something wrong. No, you are not doing something wrong. Keep doing what you're doing. Your own big break is also going to come, and you never know what that big break will be. You never know the events, the tail events, whatever that will lead to that big break, right? There are 100 billion planets in our galaxy, and only one, as far as we know, with intelligent life. The fact that you are reading this book is the result of the longest tale you can imagine. You are attending reviews every night. These are some of the tail events. Somebody will see you in future. They will see that you are full of knowledge, full of wisdom. You know, you talk like somebody who is well informed. They don't know that you have been reading books, you have been participating in reviews, you have been building yourself. Tomorrow you are invited to come and give inspirational talk, motivational talk, to come and inspire the youth. And people are looking like, that woman is so wise. That man is he's so endowed. They don't know the little, small things that you have been doing over time. Those are the things that are so important. Right. Next, we're going to look at how much 7 told freedom. Thank you so much for your comments with me in the comments section below. And please subscribe to this channel in case you yet subscribe. I remain Olaide Agbaje, also known as First Lady, and on this channel